Hello everyone, it's me, Laura. Today, I'm going to be continuing working on this page here. This is from the book Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. And I started this page and it was done, the base was done in watercolor. You can find that was my latest video on my channel. And today I thought I would go ahead and start doing the next layer, if you will. So bear with me while I open up my chat. So while I'm doing that, I hope that everybody is having a wonderful weekend. I started out quite early this morning. It is now, here's my chat. I woke up very early this morning and have been gearing up to do this video because it is super hot outside, and unfortunately later on in the day it will just become too unbearably hot to color or do anything in my living room. I don't have air conditioning, so yeah, so that's why I'm doing this early in the morning. I figure we can still have some fun coloring. So today I started out in watercolor. So this was done about a week or so ago. And I wanted to give the pages time to flatten out. You can see it really hasn't come through on the other side. A couple of smudges, but that was probably just my mistake. But I just wanted to let these pages flatten out. So what I did is I just pressed the book, and that allows the paper to really kind of like rest and recover from all of that wet media we applied. So now that we have it all ready to go, I have here some markers. So I'm going to take this out of the mount just for a second to show you my desk. So I have these Tombow brush markers, and I just pulled a selection of colors that I thought I would use. I'm not sure if I'll use them all, but I'll call them out as I use them. I also have some of these stat fine liners. Probably won't be using them, but just in case I want them, they're there for me. And of course, as always, I have my coloring companion, Miss Abby here. She is taking a nap, so hopefully she won't bother us too much. But it is always nice to have her here on the desk with me. So that's what I'm working with today. Let's just get this bad boy back in there. Alright. And so I'm gonna get started. I figure I could, I covered a lot of the background, so I think today what I'm gonna do is get going on basing out everything else with markers. So I'm going to work on the skin, the hair, the flowers, and the butterflies, whatever I can get to in this session today. We'll probably be working for about an hour. And if you guys aren't familiar with me, I'm Laura Rafferty on Instagram as lauracolorstoo, and I do a lot of coloring. And I thought it'd be nice to do these YouTube video tutorials. So that's why I'm here. These are live, and so you will see me chatting with my buddies in the chat. Hello, I see there are some people here. Welcome, and if you have any questions or you just want to tell me about your day, hello Elizabeth, how are you? Then go ahead and put it in the chat, and hopefully I won't miss anybody. Okay, so what I'm just doing now is just testing out different colors. I'm going to start off the base of her skin with this 990. This is the Tombow brush marker. So I usually start somewhere where I'm not too worried about it. So I start out the neck because I know that's going to be darker. So this is sunset, so I got to keep in mind where the light is coming from. So she's kind of backlit. So what I'm going to do is just sort of block in the base skin tone but I am leaving some of the white of the paper. Let me zoom in here so that way you can see a little better what I'm doing. So we're just locking in. I'm gonna go to her arm. You can see I have some watercolor already down, but I just go right on over it. And so that's it for her skin. That's pretty quick and easy. Luckily the markers make basing out. Oh, excuse me, sorry. There we go. Hello. Okay. That's better. Alright, so now I'm going to move to her hair. And for her hair, I thought, wouldn't it be nice? I'm going to do like a really dark color. Because we have these stars in there. Thank you. Alright, so maybe what we'll do, I'm going to start off the base of the hair. With this light blue. This is 451. Let me just double check here. Yeah, so what I do, on the side here I have this scrap paper. This is actually the paper I used underneath my page when I was watercoloring. So now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and gently lay in where I think the darks will go with this light. Oh, well that's uncomfortable. There we go. I'm so sorry about that. I have no idea where the stream cut out. I looked up and it was out. So what I'm doing here, I might repeat myself and I'm really sorry if I do. I'm just basing out the dark hair with this light blue. And the reason why I use a light blue, even though the hair will be dark, is so that way I can kind of fuss around and play around with where the shadows go and not worry if I'm making a mistake, because it's a really light color, so if there's an issue later, then I can always go over it with a darker color. So that's what we're doing right now. And I have the light coming from this way here. Well, thank you. Yeah, if you're a nervous colorist, that's okay. I know markers can be really intimidating, but if you start out light and work your way dark, then there's a way for you to get it done. And I still feel like markers are pretty quick in comparison to pencils. So I'm just going through and putting any area I think. Now around the stars, do I want a little glow maybe? Maybe I'll put that in with colored pencil though. So I'll leave that go. So just putting down a marker base does not have to be perfect. There is an area here. I'm going to jump in with this 620 Tombow, where I feel like this is a pretty close match for some of the areas that I missed with the watercolor. Just kind of jump in there. I do kind of work all over the place sometimes. And that is okay too. Alright, so jumping back over to 451, this light blue here. So while I work, I'm just wondering what you guys are working on. I see there are some people in the chat. Elizabeth, what are you working on? Are you guys coloring this weekend? And if so, what are you coloring? Alright. So I'm just picking out where I think the these shadows might go. Looking at the strands of the hair, and then just determining what might be on top and what might be below. Alright, you're working on Misfits. That's a great series. Alright. Okay. Alright, so now that we have the base down, and I have a feeling on where all of the shadows are gonna go. Now I'm going to work a little bit darker, so I'm going to grab, let's see here. Yeah, I think that'll work. So this is N45. Now you'll see I jump right into the darks. It's because once I grow my confidence enough to know where things might go, well, it seems like my phone may be already overheating, so I might not be able to stay tuned today. Oh, okay. So Elizabeth says, I also have one in Mythomorphic. That's cool. And also, you got the Crayola dual tip markers to use like the Tombows. I haven't tried those, but I'm sure if they're water-based, they're very similar. But yeah, let me know what you think of them. These right here, I started out using them because someone had gifted them to me. And so I just keep expanding my marker collection. Alright, so now we have now I'm going to swap over to an even darker color. Let's see. Oh, that's not dark. Look at how close that color looks on the cap, but yeah. Yeah, I'll try that one. That's not really darker though, so maybe this guy. Okay, there we go. I do like using blue in black hair though, so I'm swapping over to N25. But if you have another brand, you can feel free to use whatever you have that's comparable. And as you're coloring along with me, if you're doing the same page that I am, you can feel free to choose your own colors. I'm just doing this little demo / tutorial because it was requested, and I thought I would show you step by step how to do it, but all of my ideas are just suggestions. Art is really personal, so feel free to do what you like. So you can kind of see here, I'm just trying not to lose too much of the dimension when I put that dark gray down. So now I'm swapping back to the N45. Trick with Tombows for getting a smooth laydown is to do it in one stroke. So instead of doing small little jaggy strokes, I try to do it all in one go. So that way it's smoother looking. However, there are times when different textures do require you to make different strokes, so that's not always the case. But in this situation, how I achieve some smooth looking hair is to lay down smooth strokes. So if that's something that worries you or makes you nervous to try and do, you can always practice on a little sheet of paper to the side. Always a really nice way to kind of get the jitters out. I'm also using the brush pen fairly a lot here, pressing down to get that wider bit. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We can always go over these things with colored pencil. Well, hello, Maury. Welcome. Yeah, Elizabeth, the blue in the black hair is really nice, so I will add some more blue later. Alright, and hello, Katrina. Welcome. I think I have seen you before. Or maybe it was a different Katrina. And if so, then I'm sorry. So we're just, for everybody new here, we're just digging into this page here, adding a marker base so that way when I... Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah, I keep buffering, huh? I am on my Wi-Fi. Yep, I am on my Wi-Fi. Ugh. I'm so sorry, guys. I think it's the heat already. It's already hot out and it is so early in the morning. My cell phone doesn't seem to like the heat. Alright. We are here. I'm so sorry, guys. Hello, Shalene. So sorry about that. I don't know how to fix that other than to just keep at it. Hopefully it's better. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Some days it seems it's worse than others, and it may be related to the heat. Oops, I've swapped over, sorry, sneaky like, to N25. I don't know if it's the heat or what, but my phone does seem to cut out when the heat is bad. Oops, see, I'm doing those jaggy strokes and now it doesn't look smooth. So that's okay, you can always go over it. Katrina, this book here is Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. And I don't know what to say. I just have to apologize for all of the interruptions with my stream. I really do think it must be the heat. I don't even have the phone plugged in. I've got it fully charged, but I think it must just be the heat. In which case, I may go soon, sooner than I wanted to, but I don't want to hurt my phone. However, we'll see. Yeah. The texture of the paper, so in this book, it's got some, it's a very nice high quality book. All of the Hanna Karlzon books are. This is like a fairly heavyweight, I'd say, or actually probably a medium weight cardstock. A lot of the pages are just so pretty, yeah, and it didn't bleed through. You can see I did watercolor on this, and I saturated the paper fairly well. The paper itself is smooth. However, when I put the watercolor on it, it did give it a little more of a texture. I probably pulled up a little bit of the paper when I did that. But it's perfectly suitable for marker, colored pencil, all sorts of different media. I really do love her books. So, you know, when I was asked to work in this one, I had no problems. So what's nice is I actually got 2 of her books recently. So I'm really looking forward to working with her work more. So what I'm doing now is I'm just working through and filling in as much as I can of the hair. Let's see if I can zoom in a little for you. So I'm going to keep going with these. And I'm going to grab another color here. With this dark blue. Yeah, so here's a 528, and I'm going to work it in. Now what I do is I like to add this to the area right near where I think the highlights might go. So I'm just working around this little star here. Now I think the highlights might start here, and they'll be through there. And I'll add in some little lines right there. So in this way I'm sort of providing like a base marker transition between the really, really dark darks and the highlights of the hair. Now, if you're using another color and not, I plan to make her hair black. If you're not doing black, you can just use other variations on your color. So if you're using brown, you can use lighter browns and golds in this spot here to perform the same way. But I thought black would be quite nice only because she has these stars in her hair. I thought it would be a nice contrast. Like so. So I did want to mention, before I forget, that I am doing a giveaway right now on Instagram and Facebook, if you guys know my channels there. I have two free pages that I'm giving away for my circle portrait series. So if you are interested at all, if you've seen my coloring line art, if you want to go ahead and grab those, what I'll do is at the end of this video, when after it's, it's not live anymore, I'll put the links in the description. But you can also just head on over to my website. It's laurafolio, laurafolio.com. And there's a link right on the homepage for you to go ahead and grab those. Yep, and I put links everywhere, so it's also on my Facebook page and my Instagram. So you guys, the link will only be, the downloads will only be available for a week, so you want to snag them soon. Alright, so I'm just working my way up the hair. So I'm swapping back over to N25. Oh, you're welcome. I'm very happy to supply you guys with new coloring pages. I figure it's the summertime. People might have some more free time, maybe going on vacation. And sometimes when you go on vacation, you don't want to bring a whole book with you. You know, with the weight restrictions on airplanes and stuff, so bringing single pages is kind of nice. Let's see here. Okay. Just checking and making sure that there's no chat I'm missing, which we're good. It looks like we're good. So I'll just continue this process. Oop, look, I missed a little strand here. Let's make that dark there at the end. This can be mostly dark. It's sort of like underneath everything else. Missed a spot there. So I'm constantly going back and forth and finding things I missed. It's totally okay. However you work, if it's different than how I work, that's fine. If you're somebody who likes to work in just one spot at a time and finish it off till it's done, that is totally okay. There's no right or wrong way to work. I'm just doing it how I do it. And the result is that it looks kind of messy for a while, and it might be discouraging for some people. They might give up, but I just know to keep working, and eventually it comes together. Like that. And so let's see here. I want that to have some highlights. There we go. And coloring in the lines is optional, as you can see by my work. I don't always do it, and that's okay too. My motto is nothing has to be perfect, because I'm not perfect, so why would I expect something to be perfect out of me if I'm not perfect to begin with? But perfection is overrated. I mean, for those of you who really do labor and really do have to get it perfect, I totally get it, because I used to be that way. But ever since I learned to let go a little bit and have a little more fun, not worry so much about that, I've really found that I have a lot more enjoyment out of art. But again, everybody's different, so if you really have to have it perfect and that's how you are, then that's okay too. Alright, so we've got a bunch of different hair pieces. I'm just trying to make sense of what I'm doing here. So as I go up, I like to have more highlights. Oop! I like to have more highlights and less shadows. Even on black hair, you're going to find highlights. And I think this is something that people who are trying to do black hair really struggle with. It's the balance of how many highlights and how many shadows do I use. So I err on the side of too many highlights and I work it in. Let's do this here. You're very welcome. I'm happy to provide. Yep, and if you do color my pages, I am doing a color along, so don't forget to either tag me on Facebook or use the hashtag on Instagram. And I'm featuring people and putting them on my website and stuff, so yeah, I really love to see what people do. It's like my favorite part about coloring, is sharing the whole process. Alright, so now I'm going to get away from this really dark one. Seems like my stream is holding out okay. So now I'm swapping over to the N45. This is the lighter gray. Just gonna kind of fill in some of the spots. Now what's fun is when you put colored pencil over this watercolor and marker base, it will be like the first layer of pencil that we're putting down. So what's nice is we really have a lot of tooth of the paper to work with. So we can really get a lot of nice layers in there. It's part of the reason why I love working with marker. So it really does give you a lot of kind of like a jump start. Okay, so then we've got this spot here. And I do like going around the stars with dark colors. because then this will provide contrast later when I go ahead and make them bright and shiny. But not every star, like some of them are going to fall within the highlight area, and that's okay. But that's why you see me sometimes picking out shadows behind those stars. Is really, like, I kind of want one back here, but I think I'll leave him. I'm like, I accidentally covered that star a little, my bad, but that's okay, I can fix him. Nothing a little gel pen can't solve. Okay. I'm going to break up some of these hair strands a little bit, so I'm choosing one to kind of have like an overlap. Give it a little more dimension and depth. Let's put a little bit of darkness back there behind that guy. And now I'm going to swap back over to this guy here, the 528. This is that blue. And this blue can be rather dark. So I try not to go over it too many times to keep it kind of on the lighter side. You can also use a more medium tone if that works better for you, and just build up the layers. Kind of like knocking it out as quick as I can. But I know that that takes some practice knowing your colors. So if you're new to your set, or you're not quite sure, you can either practice to the side or layer up lighter colors over time instead. I'm learning my marker set pretty well by now, so I feel pretty comfy just going in with these really dark colors. Okay, so it's starting to look less patchy. There we go. And you'll see we'll really bring everything together with the colored pencils. But right now we're just having fun putting a base of marker down. Not really fussing too much. Just trying to get an idea of where the highlights and shadows are. So I'm going to put a little bit of shadow right in here. Man, I wish I had hair like hers. Look at how luxurious this is. Well, hello. We've got Karen here. And hello, Grace. Well, welcome, everyone. Yeah, the blue is very vibrant, but you'll see once I go over it with black, then it'll knock down the brilliance, but it will still have that nice shiny quality. You'll see. It's all about layering here. And you'd think that blue would be a silly color to use for black hair, but I find that it works really nicely. Keeps it from looking too flat, I think. Okay, so now just to knock down that a little bit, just so that it's not so bright, because we're not going to have the white of the paper. Let's see here, what color? I'm just trying to select. Here we go, here's a nice gray, so we have N60 here. This is like a bluey gray kind of. So now I'm going to pretty much get rid of most of the light white areas of the paper. And just leave maybe a little bit. In the areas where I am leaving it white, I do tend to feather out the marker in the same direction as the hair is going. And that just kind of creates a nice directional shadowing effect. Alright, so you see once I blend that together, with that blue, gives a nice look. And if I want to later, I can add some more whites back in with either a gel pen or a white Prismacolor pencil. They work pretty well for this sort of technique. Now as I work my way up, I'm going to get rid of less and less of that white highlight. Let's see here. Oh, I've got some chat. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Yeah, so apparently Shalene has taught us that you can change your YouTube name. Yeah. That's cool. Nice, Shalene. Well, your new name is just as fitting as your old one was. Right. So, you can see I kind of drag some of that brighter blue around when I use this lighter gray. And that is A-okay. That's sort of what I'm going for. Alright, so we've got our marker base down for the hair. It's not perfect, but I think it will do. Just sort of putting some finishing little touches on there. Now I will come back over this with colored pencil later. This is just my process. I put down all the wet media first, and then I like to go in and add pencil over it. So that's sort of where we've got there. So now that I've got that in, I can see I want to definitely make the stars, excuse me, a little yellow. So let me find, I want a very pale yellow. Let's see if this is, that might work nicely. So I'm just going to go in and add a little color to these stars here. Just the big ones. Just to sort of give me an idea of what the contrast will be. Okay. And I also really like this yellow. It's almost like a peachy color. I'm just going to clean it off a little bit. And then come on in and add it to her face to give her face, like, actually all of her skin, like a warm, like sunset kind of glow. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now I think I'll make some decisions about the outfit. I really like this dress color actually. It's coming along pretty nicely as it is. But I think what I'll do for the scarf is throw in, oh, I'm sorry, the yellow I used for that was 20. That was the yellow I put on the stars. And now the green is the 228. Sorry, my bad. Sometimes when you get excited, you just forget to take a pause and show your color. So I'm just basing this out, leaving some white again for the highlight, but not much. This is one of the lighter colors. I think I'm going to do this pretty dark. So this is sort of like basing it out into the lighter highlight area. So I'm going to just quickly, again, doesn't have to be perfect. We can always it. Alright, where's this start? Let's do it this direction. Okay. And then, let's see here. We're gonna do, this is gonna be dark. Like so. Like that. Okay, and I really like this color, so I'm going to go ahead and also use it for some of the details on her dress. Again, just basing everything out. We're not worrying about shading. I mean, I am conscious of the highlights and the shadows, but only to a little bit. And then I think that this ribbon, it would make sense that it would also be that color. Oh, I'm sorry, I bumped my head on the camera. Okay. So today is all about just getting everything filled in. As much as we can, so that way when we go to start working on the colored pencil, it really is much easier, much quicker. So you can see what's nice is these markers go right on over the watercolor that we put down. So if I went over the lines, which I did, like right here, that is no issue for these markers. All right. Make sure you guys can see. Oh, my little kitty cat just did a very cute stretch. I saw her out of the corner of my eye. Okay, so now we have that done. I think also, let's go ahead, and I kind of like to keep a lot of the elements the same. I think I'm going to do the bottom of the dress. Wait, what's happening here? So let's, yeah. So I think I'm going to do this bottom ribbon type area. Oh, get in that little book crevice there. Like so. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's cute. Okay, so we've got like green and olive going on. So I think for her boot, let's see. Oh, you're very welcome. I love this green. Isn't it pretty? Oh no. Shalene ran out of creamer for her coffee. Oh no. Oh, that would stink. I don't drink coffee anymore, but if I did, then I would be really upset about that. Okay, so I'm going to use some brown on her shoe because it looks kind of like a leather boot or something. That's how I'm reading that. So again, just basing it out. Not worrying about being perfect. So then I'll use a different, oh, so that brown was $9.77. Ooh, I don't know if you can read that, but now I'm going to use a different brown, so $9.47 for these little details here. Just getting in the marker base. Might actually, I like to use the same color for the immediate shadows. So let's throw in some shadow just under her boot with that darker brown. Like that. You'll see how I extend that out later. And then let's go ahead. Yeah, this is like an army green. This is a different green than the one I used earlier. It's N57. Just gonna kind of put a little bit of shadow from the dress on the boot with this green. Kind of make it feel like the dress, the light is coming through the dress. Yeah, there's like something happening there. Okay, so, oh, hello, Abby, my little cutie. Oh, she's okay. She's resting here. I'll show you if I can. Oh, well, okay. Maybe not with the thingy on there. She's decided to put her head right on the markers. Hey, cutie. Oh my. Okie doke. So anyway, where were we? Okay, so I've got a pretty nice base here for, let's think about the dress here. I have this little funky, like, spot that I left empty, so I'm just gonna fill that. This marker here is 243. Yeah, it was a pretty good typo. It's okay though, I speak typo, that's not an issue. Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry about that. So I don't know how much got missed, but here's 243. And I'm filling in these leaves on her dress with it. And this is just so much quicker than using a pencil would be. Just to get the basic ideas down. That way when we're going over it with pencil, boom, you already have an idea of what you're doing. Nice to see everything kind of already laid out for you. Kind of takes a lot of the scariness out of shading, I think. Okay, so now the big decision. Do I carry that through? Maybe for a couple leaves, I'll carry this color through, and then I'll swap over to the darker green. So maybe this leaf will be the lighter green. And this leaf for sure. And I don't know what that is, but it's becoming a leaf now. and this leaf, because it's like part of the edge of her dress. And then, so now do the rest of the leaves get darker? Maybe I'll make this one lighter too. And then let's swap over to that nice green for the ribbon. That's 228. Boop. And we're gonna go, this one gets darker. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just making these decisions. Now for big open swatches of areas, the Tombos don't really do very well. They don't blend and lay down smoothly like a Copic does. But the thing is these here, they don't bleed through the page. Here, I'll show you. We've got absolutely no bleed through. So that would be the case with a Copic. So I don't worry about there being streakies. What I do is I just fill it in as best I can, and then I go over it with pencil, and the pencil really does take any of the mistakes out of it. But you will see I do tend to work in broad brush strokes as much as possible, and that's to kind of reduce the amount of streaks I have. Kind of makes my job easier later on when I get to the pencil work. So the lighter colors don't do that, but the darker ones will. Like so. Ooh, it's already getting hot out. It's gonna be a really hot day today. So I gotta be swapping back over to 243. Miss this leaf here, which I think should be the lighter one. Now the lighter colors, they don't have as much of that issue. There's this guy here too. I just missed a whole bunch of leaves. Did I miss anything else? Well, I'll come back to it later if I did. And the reason I love these brush markers, it just goes from thick to thin so easy, just like a Copic does with the brush end. Very similar process. Yeah, I like that. And then, so let's see, we've got a bunch of leaves here. I know it's not the most interesting thing, but it is a big part of this page. So, and I'm going to cover this from start to finish. Every little last thing I do, you guys are going to see it on this page. So, well, thank you. It's going to get there. It's going to take a couple more sessions for sure. But we'll get there. And you guys know I'm a very methodical, I take my time with the coloring pencils, so I figure if I can get as much of this done with marker and watercolor as possible, that'll kind of make this series a little quicker for you guys. Abby is rearranging my marker collection again. Okay. So now we've got these big leaves. Let's just get them done, right? just following the flow that Hannah already put down for me. So whatever shape she's got there, I just try and follow it. Like that. And I don't know what, I feel like I missed some orange there or something. Let me find, this is a comparable color. I've got this 990 here. I'm just going to fill in. I think I missed some of this when I was watercoloring, but no fear. Just find a similar color and give it, feels a little light there. Some areas are light. There we go. Just kind of work that in. So the marker fixes up the watercolor and then the pencil fixes up the marker. We've got like a whole series here of fixes happening. I'm swapping back over to 228. Let's just finish out any of this foliage here that we've got. There. Like that. And these little plant-based things, whatever they're called. And I've got, oh, this one here. Now, let me think here. Do I want to do all these doodads? What are these doodads? These are the questions that a colorist must ask herself. What are these doodads, right? I'm thinking they might be a gel pen. Oh, and I forgot these. Now, should I make them the... No, I'll make them the darker. We're gonna go a little out of the box. Like that. Alright, so we've got most of this guy covered. Let's see what time it is. Ooh, it's already over an hour. Alright, well, I'm having fun because I didn't even notice the time go. You guys are such great coloring companions. Alright. Maybe I'll leave, yeah, I'll leave the flowers and the butterflies till next time. That makes sense. I'll share instead with you Abby napping. Hello, cutie. Are you having a good nap? She rearranged my marker collection, but I think we can give her, right? Anyway, guys, I think that I'm gonna call it a day. It's starting to get hot here, so I don't want to compromise my my camera. Thank you. So here's where we left it off. We got done the base marker for the skin, the hair, and some details in the dress. Next time will be the flowers and the butterflies, and then I think we can start working in on the colored pencil work. Yep, don't forget, if you enjoy this series and you're having fun watching, to click that like button. And thank you guys for joining me. It's really fun reading your comments, and if anybody has any additional comments or questions, they can leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a magical weekend and a wonderful magical time coloring. Bye!